All right, so today we're going to start our pole barn build. So we're going to start our pole barn layout and all that. Before we do that, we have this mighty oak tree, and it is leaning towards where I'm going to build my pole barn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up in the bobcat bucket, which is sketchy. That will be milled. That will go into that logging truck, and we'll go to where I keep my mill, and I'll mill that into usable wood to build this barn, because I'm all about saving money. So let's talk about material. Over here, I have 8 sheets of R-channel metal roofing. Those ones are like 18 foot long. These ones are like 16 foot long. And I got my telephone poles, all of which I got for free. The metal roofing, a neighbor was getting a carport installed. Like, hey, we don't want to take this back to the shop. We did a carport earlier that was damaged by a tornado. Do you want this metal? I'm like, well, how bad is it? And they're like, it's just twisted on one end. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over there, put a T-post in, and then stretch 16 foot this way and mark, and then do my corner to corner measurements to dictate where these posts go. Why the T-post? The T-post is going to give me something I could put my tape on and measure to the corners. So I know that's 16 feet this way, and double check it. And then after that, we're just going to be squaring up. Squaring up's the most important thing. Of course, it's a barn. It could be off. But my roof system is going to be most likely plywood, because I got a great deal on some damaged sheets. I paid $5 a sheet for 3/4 inch. And that way I don't have to worry about landing my screw holes on battens each time, because this metal is used, has a lot of holes in it. Don't let trying to be perfect ruin you from trying something. You know, I built a couple barns, and the last one I built was 25 by 70 foot. Yeah, I got that on my YouTube channel. Did it about 4 years ago, and it is off. I didn't do these corner to corner measuring, mostly because I don't think I had a long enough tape, and so it's off by a foot out of square, you know. So of course it's a lot larger and you really can't tell, but I know. But if I knew it was going to be off, I would have let that bother me, and I would have built something, that I use. So yeah, people will say is, don't even attempt something like this when you don't have the proper tools. You don't have gloves, you don't have boots on, you don't have, I don't know, high vis. I've worked construction. This is not construction. This is my backyard. My kid, who is 45 days old, just took a nap for the first time in like 12 hours. So I'm not going to waste time putting on gloves or PPE and all that crap. I'm just going to start working until the baby monitor goes off and I have to run back in. So yeah, we're going to start digging here. All right, so this is my first pole. It is not straight. Most of your free poles you're gonna get are not straight, but it is the green ones that they build docks out of now. Got it free because it's the top of a telephone pole. Still has the hooks on it, still has the ground wire. And yeah, typically if you see them changing out poles, you ask them, they'll give them to you. This old wash tub, use what you got. And it's gonna give me kind of a concrete form around the top as well. And of course, I'm gonna backfill all this with more dirt and pack it. So that's the first one. We got about, once the finished grade is going to be like right about here. We'll have about 9 foot of posts. 2 80-pound bags right now. And it's sitting level. As level as a pole like this can be, given that it's, 8 inches at the bottom and probably 6 inches at top. So you got to kind of taper it. It's tapered. And so, yeah, that one's done. This one's done. It's 3 feet deep. That'll be real good. Probably 2 bags to 3 bags of concrete, 8-pound bags. At least 200 pounds of concrete. That one's solid, set up overnight. It's going to be 95 today. That's kind of the reason why I want a pole barn, for the shade. Yep. So we got that one set and leveled. It seems pretty stable. I don't think I'll have to put extra supports on it. That one's the one I did the other day, and it's set and level. And next, this one. So that hole over there, I didn't get to do as deep. I got like 30 inches, 28, 30. This one I got like 40 inches. So I feel like this is going to be a lot more stable. I'm having to use the skid steer at this point to lift them in. That one I was able to do. It's thinner. Awesome. So we got 3, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 of the 6 set. And the spacing is 16 foot and by 30. But there will be an overhang on this building of about a foot on each side. So that's really going to be like 32. It might be even 16, 2 feet. So it might be 16 by 34 plus overhang on the front and back. Would probably be closer to 18 by 34. So next post to dig is this one. And that one's going to be a bear. So I'm going to get down there and at least get some of that loose dirt away from it. There's the post. This one is 19 foot because I knew I was going to be below grade here by about 4 foot. And I wanted to put, that gives me 15 foot. And then I wanted to put about 4 foot in the ground. So that'd give me about 11 foot. And I kind of wanted this back wall to be 10 foot. Of course, that post right there is 13. It's only 13 because I didn't cut it yet. So what I like to do is get them all set. And then I'll put my string level across where I need to cut and notch them, and then from there. But yeah, I want to get the 4 set today or tomorrow, and then the one in the middle and the one in the middle set with string lines and all that. And that'd be great. Let that sit for a couple hours. Take a break. All right, so I got this hole 3 feet, about 40 inches down. Next is set this pole, which is kind of hard because So let me put one set. So I dug the hole. I wanted to get at least 3 feet. So I dug it 40 inches. So I'm 4 inches over because I figured some dirt was going to fall in there as I pushed it in, which it did. So yeah, I got 2 bags of concrete on it. I think I'll put one more just around there. And she's good because that's the tallest of them. I wanted to get this in place and then backfill. That way I was into the solid dirt before I built up that corner, you know. So we're all square as it can be. And yeah, good. We got 4 posts up. It's kind of small block out in the middle. I feel like I can hold more than just that. Yeah. So we're gonna fix that. There's a couple options here. I think the majority of that, I'm just gonna let the pole lean back this way and try to dig out that front 10 inches. That way I can walk it out a little bit. It also could be because, you know, this pole is really bent. I probably should put a string line up higher and double check it. But yeah, it looks like we're about 4 inches to the line, 4 to 6 inches. So we need to do some work. I did the whole 36 inches deep, but some caving in is probably about 30 inches. All right, so I egged that hole out. They're 10 inches this way, and now it should be perfect. So we'll see if we can lift her back up, put her in place. Just gonna be more support at the bottom. We're gonna end up using an extra bag of concrete, so it's gonna have 240 pounds. It's done. That one post took me almost 2 hours because I made that mistake. It would have been a lot easier to dig it 10 inches this way. But it's more secure than, well, that post has 3. This one has 3, that one has 2, that one has 2, and that one has 2. So next is that post, and we're done with the post, and we can start with the substructure. I need to kind of cut that tree because it's leaning really bad that way. That's not today's problem. All right, let's get the skid steer boom down so it can rest, because I do have some cylinders I got to repack, and stress on that's not great. And yeah, so after we get this done, I can actually bring the level of dirt past that. Probably about 2 dump truck loads of dirt, but I'm actually digging it. All right. Next day we had a good hard rain, which is awesome because it's been 100-degree days. First time we had a rain in a while, but it was at night, so it's gonna be humid today and very hot. Check this post, see if it's got any wiggle. Nope. Solid. So concrete's dry. Next is that hole right there I gotta dig. So let's go to it. Put up the string line to check my accuracy, and yes, the hole's in the right place. Right now we're about 18 inches. I wanted to get to 3 feet, so we're about halfway there. Got into some sandstone and made it a little bit easier after I broke the hard red clay layer. And yeah, I'm gonna do a couple more measurements, make sure it's parallel to that one at least. From there, and keep on digging. We'll get this hole set. And I gotta move this truck, which I just got this one back on the road again. I had to do a pulley on her. The AC pulley, and I had to charge AC. Tires are still old as hell. I need to get tires. I need to fill her up. She's low. But she's been a blessing to sit in here when it gets really hot, like 100-degree day. Take a 15-minute break, look at my phone, and then come back out and dig some more. Okay, and of course my house is right there, but you know, once you go in there, you know, it's a whole ordeal. I've been sitting in this little seat I got for free off the side of the road. Yeah. So we'll get this post set today, and then we can start, you know, figuring out our height and all that. And I got to take that truck with the logs on it from this site and mill them into carrier beams for the joist to sit on. So. So that one's level, which it has a bad crook in it, so it's level as much as it can be. 2 bags of cement. That one's the last of them. And next we gotta let that dry, and we'll come back and do some more grading around here, raise the level over there, and cut the tops off of them to the correct level and all that. All right, so what I've done is I've milled a bunch of these poplar and sweet gums into 8 inches thick, about 10 to 12 inches tall. And my idea is now I'm just going to rip my 2x12s, 2x8s out of them. So yeah, I got to throw a couple more rough ones on there to skin them up. But yeah. All right, so I got everything I need to build this barn. Oh, there's a cat getting at my excavator on my flatbed truck. So I'm gonna offload it. It's gonna rain for the next, it's been raining for about 10 days and it's gonna rain for another 5. So my goal is to get this plywood covered. And so I milled all the wood, got all my beams. I got 6x10s that go across from here. And then I still gotta cut my post. But this plywood I got for cheap, $5 a sheet off a marketplace, because edge damage, and also it got a little wet at one point, but that's perfect for roof decking. It's 3/4 inch subfloor basically. Yep, got all my pieces. I got my 18 footers, a lot of 18 footers. These are all like 18'6", 2x8s. They're what's going to go on the joist or the beam to put the roof on. All right, so I got that covered with some sheet metal. That's actually the metal I'm going to use. I got that for free, basically scrap. Because it has nails, it has bends in it, and that's perfect for a barn. So these are the first 2 beams. They're probably going to go up one there, and then we'll go from there. But the first thing I wanted to do was kind of get them separated from the mess. I just kind of threw that wood on there. It wasn't a long drive, so I didn't really stack it like it should, so I need to sort everything. But yeah. All right, so I got my string level up there, and it is level from this corner to that corner. And I've marked where I need to do my chainsaw cut. And basically, I'm going to be chainsaw cutting it, but since these poles are so thick, I can leave a little bit of a backstop to screw the wood into to kind of make it more secure. Alright, so that one's dead. This one's next. This one will be a little more difficult because I'm actually cutting this side of it instead of this side of it, because it's a little past this line, and to get them all kind of square, I'm going to cut it from the back side and leave a little bit like I left there. But I really only had to cut about 4 inches off this one to make it perfect. So, see if I can do that. So that one's been squared up all the way. I'm gonna put it there. I want the nice factory edge where the stringer is going to hit it, or joist, or truss, whatever, or 2x8s. So that one's going to go there. Let's see if we can get her up there. Okay, so that gets screws later. That was dangerous. I do a lot of bobcat work setting logs on mills, so it needs to definitely go this way. Gosh, about 4 inches. I might should do that right now before, well, I get up on a ladder. I could probably do it. This side's sitting pretty. That side needs to come over. I almost feel like I could take the forks and just kind of, could try that real quick. All right, so let's talk about brackets. So I got these at a garage sale for $1 a piece, and they're made of 1/4 inch steel. I got like 12 of them. This is what I'm going to do. This side's going to go to the post. This side's going to be under the beam. And then they already got holes drilled in them. The only problem is the holes are a little small. I can get a lag bolt like that size in there, but a 4-inch, T25 screw would fit in there fine. But I also do have these timber locks. These are 6 inches. You can get them on Amazon. They have the bigger head, so they don't sink in as much. So I got that. One is secured. It's about, to the top of it's probably like 12'8", something like that. And yeah, well, in this end it's almost 13 foot. Right here it's probably about 12'8". So I do have some grading I need to do, but that one's up. And next I'm going to check. I went ahead and did my 2-foot drop from the bottom of that one, go over there and mark it, and make sure I was level across there. I already did my string line, my level string line, but I want to make sure. But it looks like it's about to rain again. So we'll try to get a little bit more done, just a tad bit more done on this. And I would like to leave like a back cut like I did on that one, but that one has 2 spikes that go all the way through, so I'm just gonna flat cut it. And I'll put a one of those brackets on both sides, make it secure. And also I'm gonna do 45s as well. I have extra beam that's a little furry. I think it's this one actually, and I'll cut 45s on it. They'll have to miss the existing hangers, so I have to come down a little bit, but that'll give it a little more structure. And yeah, so. All right, so those are all cut. I brought in some more dirt. Need to bring in probably 10 more buckets. Those are cut and leveled. I went ahead and didn't leave the back cut on these. I was like, yeah, just cut them. So we're gonna do one more cut here, and then I gotta start charging batteries, putting tools up before the rain comes. It's pretty much rained every night this week, and so it's gonna be a muddy mess here. That one's secured the least, and yeah. Guys, and their day and their dollar. Looks like it's gonna rain today, so I want to get one more set at least braced in, and then I got to figure out my trusses. I'm wondering if I can prefab them on the ground, lift them rather than building them in air, which is basically a lean-to shed roof style. And I thought about if I put the plywood on there, I can square it up with the plywood and then see if I can lift it up all together, but I'm not sure. From there to there, and so I got one. I already squared up a cut. You just saw that. It's like we're gonna have more rain today. Lovely. So this is going to be more or less an equipment shed. I want to be able to park stuff in it, but also I'm doing a high ceiling because occasionally I repair equipment like this, and sometimes you have situations where you have to put the boom all the way up to replace a cylinder, to replace something, you know. And so that's why I'm doing actual interior space is about 13 foot on this side and about 11 on the back wall. So this property is like really long and skinny, and I've had problems with, once these leaves fall, the road's over there, people can see, and I've had people knock on my door before and like, hey, is that piece of equipment for sale? Is that? I'm like, no. Oh, well, you have one in the backyard. You have an old tractor. I got my tractor here, you know, a couple of tractors, a Ford and a Massey Ferguson, and then a Hydro Track, gonna work on eventually. And I don't like that people knock on your door, you know, and say, you got any scrap metal? And the idea of this is it's a great big wall. Once I put my siding on the back side, once I put my siding here, it's going to be a nice big wall to kind of, I can park things here. See, this is a nice parking area. It's gravel. I'll bring more gravel in. And eventually I'll do another pole barn over here. And then the idea is one day connect them with trusses. So I'll have a big open space in between the two pole barns. I have one over here that's not going to be walled off. It's going to be open. And this is going to be a three-sided barn. And then one day I'll have trusses built, or I'll build them to go across and connect them, you know, and then I have a big work area. But for now, it's phase one. Just want to get this done. So yeah, without further ado, let's do a lift. No, at least we got one thing done before the rain came, and that's important. So it's going to become a muddy mess here, but yeah, I got that bracket on. I got that kind of toe screwed. I'm gonna put another screw in there, and then I might see if I need to do the 45s before I start the roof or not. We'll look. But now it's time to take a break somewhere. That's a little shaded spot. Maybe the rain will pass. I don't know. All right, so it's paused in the rain. It's a little drippy, but it's not pouring. Everything's mud now, which is par for the course. At this point, I take off my work boots and I just put my Crocs on because I'm gonna hose my feet off before I go in the house. So that one's up. I think I toe screwed this one. I'm gonna put my bracket there. That's gonna be good. And that's the tree that came from right there. That's the stump, what's left of it. I used oak on this stretch, and the rest is gonna be sweet gum. Alright, so this is the finished roof segment. It is 18'6" by 8 foot. Those are 2x8s, rough sawn. I milled myself. And this is salvage plywood. I got in bundles. I got bundles of this plywood for $5 a sheet. I think I got 150 sheets left. And basically they were water damaged. You can see it a little bit. And the edges were damaged. Some of them are not damaged, but I chose to use the ones that are more damaged that I can't resell. I'm going to try to lift that end up and then put a tote in the middle to get me the right height. And then I'm going to try to put it up there. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to see. I'm going to film it, of course, in case it doesn't. Make good YouTube, I guess. Yep. So yeah, let's lift it and get it in place, and then yeah, carry on. Balancing a complete 8 by 18.5 foot roof segment on a IFC tote, so I don't have to get up on a roof. Eventually I have to get up on the metal roof it, but I want to get the whole structure up without having to climb a ladder. And yeah, it's pretty massive. That's probably about 1,500 pounds worth of weight. It's kind of awkward, but it does lift from the center. All right, so yeah, it's flexing a little bit, but I definitely think I need to move the tote a little bit more this way because the weight's just not where it needs to be. But my Bobcat is showing the gas sign, so it's out of diesel. I need to go get some more because I don't want to run out of diesel mid-lift. So we know it can lift it. I need to center it a little bit better. And then I just started realizing, why on God's green earth did I'm going to have to lift it either over those ones. Is that one bent? Yeah, it is. Or I'm probably going to have to wing it in sideways, kind of. I need to move all this. This is more trusses I need to build. So yeah, if I kind of wing it in sideways and then do my lift. But I'm going to put stops to keep it from sliding off, which I don't think it will, but just in case. I mean, it looks pretty square. I don't know if I should be this picky, but I was supposed to have like 6 more inches overhang this way. But I kind of feel like I need to pull it. Let's go look at the overhang on the other side. But I mean, it's pretty much there. Honestly, I think that's probably as good as I can get it. I think I probably should just call it good. I don't want to fly too close to the sun, you know what I'm saying? I got 4 up there for right now. I'm okay with that for right now. So let's talk about timber lock screws. They're made of spring steel, so they can flex a little bit, not snap like regular screws. And I'm gonna put 1 on each. And also I'm gonna do some 45ing, but for right now this is good. I can get in these weird thunderstorms where the sun's out. I don't understand it, but everything's mud here. I actually had erosion problem here because all the rain collected. So luckily that post is another 4 feet below grade, so we're good on that. I've never seen so much rain in my life. Anyway, I had about a 3-hour rain delay. I'd work in light rain, but this wasn't light rain. This was thunder and lightning. That one's up. So I started building this one, and now it's thundering again. Turned dark. So I think I'm gonna have to call it a day or something. All right, I got another one built. Time to lift it in place. Let's set up. All right, so that's just about perfect. A little bit of wiggle room to adjust it, but yeah, I like building these on the ground, not building them up in the air. I've built pole barns before where I had to build it all up in the air, and it took me a lot longer. This is a time saver and a back saver. So next I just got a screw like I did with those, with the 6-inch timber locks. Come in from this angle, come in from that angle, and then the same thing on the top beam. And then I'm gonna think about, I'm gonna put up the next 2 beams to take the truss system. And also I'm thinking about going ahead and cutting a bunch of 45s just to kind of keep it from racking. It racked a little bit, but not much. I want it to be accurate. So a little bit more left to do. And we'll, you know, once we get all these roofs up, 2 more segments basically. 2 more beams, 2 more segments, a bunch of 45s, a bunch of screws, a bunch of metal plates like I've been using. And then we're good to start on the siding. And actually I might do the roof first. I got a roof membrane. There's a guy selling them on Marketplace, like the water shield, rain and water shield, that's waterproof basically. He's got it for cheaper than tar paper, which it could be like old and all stuck together, I don't know, but he's selling them for cheaper than what I could buy tar paper. And I was gonna put tar paper down anyway, so I might get that just as extra line of defense, because this metal does have holes and it's been used, but I'm gonna put a screw wherever, you know, hole is basically. I actually did a really good job of doing crown side up. Next is that one. It's got to go in place. And then I got a screw, gusset them, put some 45s on them. And then we'll be good to start building their roof. Alright, so happy with my progress so far. I did get my metal plates in, and they're secured. This beam has a big crown to it. So I put the crown side up. It's actually more than I thought it would be. It's probably about a 3 to 4 inch crown. And so yeah, so I'm hoping the weight will kind of maybe even it out by an inch or something like that. We'll see. I'm gonna take a break, come back to it. We're at 95, and they say with the heat index we're 108. We'll see. I remember watching the news a couple months ago, and they're saying in Europe, people were dying because it was so and so Celsius. And I Googled it, and it was 79 degrees. I was like, I've lived in Georgia all my life. Yeah. We get a couple 105 days, that's without heat index each year. The humidity here is outrageous. And yeah, kind of made me feel a little bit like maybe I'm a little stronger than these Europeans. There we go. Got it balanced on the tote. That's how I get it up there. And next, we're going to put it in place. This will be the third, which will give us 24 foot of 18 foot 6 of coverage. And then after that, one more, and it'll give us 32. Here I am on top. We're now 24 feet by 18 foot 6. One more segment to go. This doesn't need to be screwed in. I'm not gonna walk on that part. Pretty square, pretty level, pretty good. So yeah, it's all salvaged plywood. Next I got to get down the bucket. That's how I'm getting down. That one's up, but one of those 8-inch or 10-inch screws I should have started in the pine, the post versus the oak, because the oak's really tough. Probably need a pre-drill. So I got 8 more of those to put up. All right, time to start unrolling this. Rolling the underlayment and get some panels up before it gets hot. Pretty big roof, 18 foot 6 by 32. So I got about 11 feet left. I got 21 feet done with this color. Here's where it's gonna start getting weird, because I'm gonna start using different colors. All right, so the roof is finished basically. It's got that ice and shield, water shield underneath, so I'm not afraid of leaks, although every screw hole has a screw in it. And could add some extra screws. If I ever have to get back up here, I'd bring some more. But we're good, solid. You know, that beam sticks out extra 3 feet, almost makes me want to put extra panel, give me some overhang. I do have some extra silver. I don't know, I would have to mix silver and that piece of green down there. And this green, I mean it doesn't really stand out too much. The trees kind of hide it over here, so yeah. Alright, so this one's basically done. I gotta do a short board on the end, and then I gotta do my board and my battens. And I'm gonna put a trim board that goes all the way down to cover the short boards, and also I'm gonna do one up top, kind of clamps it. Alright, I'm about to do a pattern here. It's gonna go like rough cut moldy board to kiln dried board I dried in my kiln, to moldy regular, and then to kiln dried. I hammer all these up. I went ahead and put a T-brace kind of on these supports to make sure they don't wobble as much. And I got some scrap wood up there. I think I can get from here to there done in the next hour. They're all lined up, ready to go. If you don't see me nailing up here, that's because when I do the trim piece, I'll get up on top and make sure those are nailed in good. But I'm gonna do what I can reach, and then what I need to do with the ladder for trimming later, I will. So I prefabbed a corner. That's just a waste piece of wood from sawmilling. I threw it in a pile and saved it. And it's going to cover that, kind of that weird angle. Ah, pretty good. Pretty good. I like it. One more side to do. Time to move my junk to the barn. I haven't started this tractor in probably 9 months, before I had a baby. So, yeah. I have the key. I think all the way up was off, so take it back down a little bit. I'll try it without starting food. Oh. Here she is. Got my favorite pieces of equipment in this barn. Barn is finished. Serving its purpose. Got one more tractor I got to get running. That's going to be hard. But yeah, the old Ford started right up. I think the water pump bearing or whatever's going bad because it wiggles a lot. So I might have to replace that soon. I don't know. We'll have to look at that. Starting to drizzle a little bit. So what's next? This video does really good. I can afford gravel. I don't think it's gonna be that great, but if it did. So yeah, this wall I left that one out because I want to put a signpost there, or if I ever want to extend the overhang and have a little bit more dry storage. That's probably one of my favorite walls right here. Still the walk around. So technically it is covered space, like inside the post is 16 by 32. But if you count out the overhang over here and overhang on each end, you're really at 18 foot 6 by 35 foot. Yeah, for the back side, look. Yeah, a lot of board and batten. Look, fell off the. All this has been built up, so this was all nothing. But yeah. That's good. Keep my ladders over here, I guess. Push my little welder in. Welder generator. That's what I use to run some of my power tools. Yeah. You got about 13 feet on the front wall. And you got about 10 foot 6 on the back. Yeah. But I figure once I add 6 inches of gravel, it's going to change. Yeah. Shelves throughout. Lots of shelves. Yeah. So pretty good for a little bit of solo work, a little bit here and there. So how much did this cost me? The metal was free because it's scrap metal. The wood was from storms. It was actually trees I milled on this property where this barn sits. And most of the framing is sweet gum, which a lot of people don't like that, but I've used sweet gum on barns before, and as long as you screw it and nail it well, it won't twist. But anyway, so yeah, so all together, the plywood I paid $5 a sheet for because it's damaged plywood. I got 150 sheets of it, and so I pay, what did I use, 20 sheets on this? So $100 worth of plywood, probably $300 worth of fasteners, so about $400, and then the tar paper I paid about $100 for. So, and then concrete, so I would say about $600 to build a barn this size. All this wood is from my sawmill. Most of it's from trees on this property. So yeah, I say I did pretty good. Yeah, it's not perfect. That beam definitely has a big arc to it, and my figuring was put the arc side up and maybe the weight of the roof will take it down. It didn't. It's actually bows by about 4 inches in the center and then comes back down. Yeah, I mean, that happens. It was milled straight, but you know, somewhere in between now and drying, that happens. So plenty of places for snakes to hide. I like to put a lot of that up there so the snakes could get the birds, nevelies. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get all my junk in here. All the stuff I want to keep. Toolboxes, stuff like that. Figure out my space. Figure out if I want to put some solar lights up or something. But yeah. So far, so good.